Hi, my name is Dr. Pecoraro. I'm a chiropractor in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. And in this video I wanted to answer the question, why does a good God allow bad things to happen? I want to explain this in a way that, by some examples. I'm going to give you two examples. Now, one is a parent who has to decide what's the greater good out of two things: that his child will someday walk on his own, or that he'll never fall, so he has to always have the parent help him. In other words, when he gets older, is he going to be on his own, be able to walk on his own and go do what he has to do, go take care of himself, to go to his job, or is he going to always have to have the parent or somebody else there holding him up because he never really gets a chance to walk on his own? So if the parent, God, decides that the greater good is that he walk on his own someday, which is God deciding that he wants us to go to heaven because we want to go there, not because he forces us to go there. So if the parent is going to take this greater good, then he has to give him the free will. He has to give that child the free will to walk on his own. Just like God has to give us the free will to sin or to not sin. So let's go back now to the child. So God, the parent, is giving the child, us, the free will to walk on his own. And so he has to give him that free will to walk on his own because of the greater good that he wants to come of this. So now that the child has this free will to walk on his own, there's a possibility that he might fall. And that falling would represent sin. And if he falls, then he might get hurt. And that would represent the effects of sin. And those effects of sin can be small, like a little bruise, or big, like a big gash, or the child can even die from the effect of the sin. Now, did the parent want the child to fall and get hurt? No, nobody would even think of saying that. It wouldn't even come into our thoughts. But this is what we try to say about God. God gives us the free will, and we say that these bad things that are happening, he wanted them to happen. He permitted them to happen. He allowed them to happen. But it's part of the process. It's not like, yeah, he wanted them to hurt you. Just like you didn't want the parent didn't want to hurt the child in this example. Now, another example would be, for those of you who don't have children, small children, it'd be like somebody learning to drive a car. Now, if you're teaching the person to drive the car, do you want them someday to be able to drive the car on their own? And if you do, then you have to give them the free will to drive on their own. So again, now, the parent or the person who's giving the free will would represent God, and the person driving the car would represent us. And once you give that person the free will to drive on their own, there's a possibility that they might get in an accident, and that accident would represent sin. And if they get in an accident, they could get hurt, and that would represent the effects of sin. And so if they get in an accident, they can get just a small little bump on their head or something, or they could get pretty mangled up, or they could die in the accident. But no one in their right mind would say that the parent who let this kid drive on his own someday wanted the kid to get into an accident and get hurt or die. But this is what we say about God. God gives us free will, and because he gives us the free will, which is the greater good, not the lesser good, we may fall, we may sin, and we may get hurt, the effects of sin, even the effects of the original sin. So again, it's not that God wants us to get hurt. It's not that he's I'm allowing you to fall down and get hurt. It's not that at all. It's more like in these two examples. So think about it, meditate about it, and hopefully it'll create a different understanding for you about it. Thank you.